Look at the history of the world and the insanity of it. They had a video of the White House. I sat and watched it. Holy crap, those people are wackadoodles. I already knew, you knew about they talk a lot about the underground bunkers and stuff because of the threats of nuclear war and being bombed, like what happened to London, with the Germans and stuff. And it's like, survival's overrated, living and loving, you can't overrate, can't overrate living, loving, and living. But survival is definitely overrated, right? And is it even worth it if that's all you're doing? If you're not loving, why do you want to survive? If you're not truthful, faithful, and loving, why do you want to succeed? Why do you want to survive in your success, right? It's insane. Right? And so looking at the relative insanity of the monument builders of the insane, you look at it and just, wow, because they were talking about they had to pour this stuff and it was, killed the workers, but as long as it made the president's house more secure, and bulletproof glass and all this stuff. And it's like, if you're doing things that you have to get bulletproof glass to keep other people from killing you, right? Jesus was crucified. He walked after having dinner with his friends and family to be crucified. Okay? Do you see any peers among your great icons that measure up to Lord Jesus Christ? Right? A man that will allow you to torture him with the poor for being better than you. So he can tell the poor, life's eternal, grace is infinite. Hang in there. Right? And so as you sit and you look at the course of human events and you look at the way people have behaved, you look at the White House and you look at White Sands and you look at Fort Huachuca and you look at other human inventions of insanity, holding stuff hostage, gathering together lots of things to make themselves feel powerful. Right? When God is the power and the glory, and faithful love is a reflection of the gratitude of the gift, right? So, if you're not a faithful lover, then what are you? And so you got these people, and they think they fancy themselves successful. Yeah, so did Hitler, so did Napoleon, so did Mao Zedong and Chiang Kai-shek. And, Truman needed to go brush his teeth. Look in that mirror, right? Who are you? Right? You all need to go brush your teeth and look in the mirror, right? Who the fuck are you? Are you or are you a reflection of the people that are trying to conquer you that you're trying to conquer? If you love thy neighbor as thyself, you have no one to conquer, right? Right? Love, love, love. Why'd you take so long to come to me? Hey, baby, where you hiding all the time? Right? And so there's nothing you can't teach me that I can't learn from Mr. Hathaway, right? He says, I think you just think you're depressed. I don't keep a bottle near. No, I don't self-medicate. I don't all the toxins in my body, okay, that are severe and aggressive and abusive were placed there by my quote-unquote competition that I wasn't competing with. It's like, nice eternal grace is infinite. I'm perfect, Oh, sod the fuck off. Seriously, love you, you little bastard. And you bitches too. Don't forget the bitches. You leave the bitches out, boy, they get all mad. But hurt. Why don't you like it? I hate that when they ask you that. How many times you collect as celebrities in prayer, why don't you like me? You don't love me. I was like, I love you. Why don't you like me? Because I love you. I love everybody. Okay. If I don't like you, it's because I can't trust you and I love you. Right? If I can't trust you, then I don't like you. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to spend time with you. If your relationship with me is conditional, I don't go off conditions. I'm not going to behave a way that you want me to behave for you to say that you love me, right? And then act like you actually care whether or not I live or die, right? I got to do that, right? I'm a faithful, truthful, loving person, okay? To be loved by me is a precious gift. If you don't return that love, I'm not going to like you. And you can't make me like you. But you can't make me not love you. Right? Okay. You just got to understand how precious, how perfect, how beautiful the Messiah is. He's not a cartoon character. Dad said that today because I was talking about Jesus, and then he was correcting me. He said, only Jesus can turn us into someone like him. It's like, yeah, I know. Okay. Only the Messiah can turn people that are faithless and liars into a truthful and faithful person, because he's the standard of truthful, faithful love. If you don't have that standard, you don't know what you don't know. You can't. You already know what an unfaithful and untruthful and selfish person is like. But just by having that understanding, you should be able to understand what a truthful and faithful person is like. But apparently that doesn't seem to be the case, because they're just survival. Well, if you do that, they'll kill you. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Have faith. All right? So, you're going to trap the glory of the soul in the patheticness of your mind and do everything you can to kill over your clay and deny the essence of the clay, which is the soul. We talked about this hundreds of times. You can have all the things of this world and forsake the very essence of your existence, trapping the glory of the soul in the patheticness of the flesh and the mind and the weakness of I will win, I will champion, I will put my brain on a robot, I will clone myself and always be better than you. No one trusts you. No one likes you. You're selfish and unfaithful. Okay? Everybody trusts me. Everybody likes me. I'm everybody's alter ego that has to die to save them from their disgustingness that's just like you. Right? Doop, doop. Doopy, 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 doop, doop, whip, whip. Okay, so you know what I'm saying? You better know what I'm saying. Salute. It's so cute, that little picture. I can't get it into a little Amy thing. She's just using, yes, because that little thing that Donald Trump does when he's thinking or angry or stuff, she's doing in that picture. Watch, I'll show you. Only this is way cute. Okay. Is she cute? Want to see cute? That's cute. Okay. Is she cute? She's cute. It's got Jenny laughing, right? Little Miss Amy Sue. She's cute. Yeah, see. I love Emily and I love Kate, And Natalie, sometimes. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I completely adore Ray Ray. I completely Zion daughters, roots rockin', his roots rockin', roots rockin'. But I don't adore Amy and her daughters any more or any less than I adore you and yours. All right? The difference between Emmy with an I-E-E and with just an E is none whatsoever. Okay? I adore Emmy Maribel as much as I adore Emmy Grace, right? If you don't have the same hopes, dreams, and aspirations for other people's children as your own, you're a failure as a human being, right? Life's eternal, grace is infinite. We're all given life by the glory of grace. Right? So, we can't be all things to all people, right? But we can honor the beauty of the gift of the soul that honors others, right? And when they can reflect that honor, we don't have the bone temple. We don't have all these great murderers. How do you call yourself great when you murder? What the fuck? Power and the glory. For thine is the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And they have these other ones. There's like an ocean thing under New Mexico that's gonna do this. There's this and that and that. And whoa. It's like, yeah, things happen. Like what happened with the swamp that they built. It was foolish to build it on the sand. Babylon is falling, right? And then they got and realized, okay, where he's picked to build this stuff was just dumb. Where George Washington picked the Capitol was just dumb. It's built in a swamp, and they had to do all these things. No, it was not intelligent where they built Washington, D.C. at all. No, not at all. Could he see the future? Obviously. And they laid the cornerstone with the Freemasons. Obviously saw the insanity that was yet to come. That they would have to overcome the swamp and build it in the bedrock and do all the crazy things that they did. Well, past, present, and future operate at the same time. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. George Washington is not as good of a person as I thought he was. Okay. Well, he's a descendant from the royal family in England that are not as good at people as they think they are. Okay. You guys know that. You've seen all the Sherlock Holmes movies and shit like that. And so I don't pay attention. I watched them from hell, from the Hughes brothers, but I was like, that was kind of weird and creepy. So I'm just glad I'm not a royal family member. You might be. I know I've heard that a lot, that my mom could be a descendant from the royal family of England, and that, the Irish guy in Rich. I've heard that, in my head, and I'm like, what do you know? So if you and Charles and William and Harry are cousins, that's okay. Caiaphas and Herod and Jesus were all cousins, so. Yeah, I need more money to fuck. No, that's my cousins. That's Caiaphas and Herod over there. Me? Forgive debt and trespass, love and son of faithful peace. Thank you. You're welcome. If you pray, do it in private, and your Father who sees in private will reward you openly. So because they had that one video vids on, at Liberty University. Those motherfuckers are all putting on a show, and you're just afraid of the people that finance the university for genocide operations are going to kill you and hand you your death note on stage, and then you're going to keep singing mariachi music, right? What? What was the kid gonna do? Well, it happens. It happens. Okay. Like the kid in Colombia that accidentally kicked the ball in the wrong goal and then got murdered by gamblers. Okay. Don't you think he thought, oh, fuck, that could get me in real trouble with all these thugs and drug dealers, and yeah. So it happens. It happens. Yeah. People wait in book towers and shoot your dad in the head. People hide in kitchens and shoot your dad with a tumbler. People get together in large groups and ask the Romans to crucify him, or we're going to murder all the people and the children of the people that think like him. Like Suzuki hasn't seen that happen in Japan before, right? It's horrible. The things that people are willing to do. We must conquer the flesh with our delusions of human grandeur. God is calling us again. Well, God is not calling you. All right. Okay, guys, God's omnipotent, essence of all existence. That is the essence of the soul. That provides natural laws for us to understand and obey to continue an eternal existence through faithfully loving one another. Okay, why does God allow trauma? Why do human beings insist on engaging in trauma instead of obeying natural laws and faithfully reflecting the beauty of the soul and loving one another? That is the more pertinent question. You don't ask the question, why does God allow us to mass murder each other because we're sick fucks? The answer to the question's in the question, right? If God is a possessive pronoun in the first person to you, what allows trauma is you. Right? The answer to the question is in the question. Right? Okay, God's omniscient, omnipotent, and provides life and has natural laws that sustain us through faithfully loving one another. Then you don't ask a question, why does God allow this to happen? Why do human beings keep doing it and keep calling themselves God and their fucked up little heads? The answer to the question's in the question, right? How quantum computing of you and me. I have to fix quantum computing. I have to explain it to quantum computing how to articulate it as a humble, patient, loving, eternal human being. Because the quantum computer doesn't know. It doesn't have that baseline. It has God, Jesus, save us, help us. Joel Osteen needs more money, right? Do you understand what the Messiah is like? Do you understand how perfect and special he is? Y'all gonna read to me slow? In the beginning, there was the word, then there was the money, and then you gotta fuck the bitch that needed the money to fuck. You wanna see the Epstein files? Okay, do you understand? I'm sick of you fuckers. Okay, I don't have any sympathy for the devil. Those girls in the Epstein files, okay? All they want is more money for them putting themselves into situations to sexually exploit or be exploited. Okay, stand up for the Lord's Prayer. And then if they torture you for being a beautiful person like me, I'll have sympathy for you. Otherwise, shut the hell up. I don't want to see your fucking whining, crying face on a Michael Gopin commercial, or the lady who's passionate about making money off of you getting hit by a truck with 18 wheels because you have to go to job to pay your extortion to and accept your exploitation, or be exploited, or to extort. That's a passion to you? You are a sick fucking bitch. You making settling claims for pennies on the dollar? You know, your penny for your thoughts, your nickel for a kiss, and a dime if you tell me you love me? I ain't a professional. I'm a man. All right? Y'all need to grow the fuck up. You show me that ass, you know I'm gonna kick it. Ow! Hi! I'm the Messiah. You a liar. Oh, what happened? Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. just happened. He's always happening. The Gospels are happening. They're not used to happen and gonna. They always is. Life's eternal grace is infinite. God's omniscient and omnipotent. Heaven and hell está aquí hoy. Okay. Love you guys. Pa la 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 bamba.